And good morning. This is Friday, March 25th, 2022. And this is things you might not have heard for that day, Friday, March 25th, 2022. And I happen to be Jake Clifton Payne to bring you some news stories that you might not have picked up on across the day with all the big things going on. And today I have a bit of confession to make. I put something there as a tease, and we're not doing it because of a true 11th hour story that just overtook everything. But we'll get to that in just a bit. Now, things you might have heard brought to you by The Conversation Project, found at thisistheconversationproject.com. Find out more information about how The Conversation Project works, what it's all about, and of course, following the feeds, you'll see the links right there to the top right of your screen and the scroll in a bit to be a part of the show, as in literally you help pick the news stories, and you literally helped do this thing last night, changing the course of what I thought was going to happen when I woke up this morning and went over the data. So check it out. Also, we want you to check out our website because there are ways for you to help support what we have going on here via our sponsors page and our partnership page. Check it out at the website. This is theconversationproject.com. Now, let's start off with the first story right here. The first truly, I was in a long time we'll be doing this whole project, and there are various ways of presenting this news. 11th hour story, literally posting around late 11 o'clock last night in Central Time as I was essentially asleep, pre-posting things. The story was something that broke later in the evening, and you guys jumped onto it big time. It is this one right here. Ginni Thomas, Justice Clarence Thomas's wife, exchanged texts with Mark Meadows about efforts to overturn the 2020 election. We pulled it from CBS News. Like I said, it was everywhere. And if you don't think that, there is evil going around in this world, you just wait till you see the people who are trying to stand up for good, because this is literally the words said between Mark Meadows and Ginni Thomas, texting back and forth about the January 6th stuff. And Mark Meadows saying that by Jesus Christ is my witness, I will do my best to fix this thing for this man. Paraphrasing on that one. But this is what went back and forth. Ginni Thomas, who I didn't actually know, she actually spent time in the House of Representatives as an actual representative. But she's a longtime mainstay in Washington, D.C., not just because of her husband, Clarence, but because she's been in the power brokering game for quite some time. When conservatives speak, she's somewhere where the words being heard, and when she says things, people pay attention, and people are now paying attention to this. Well, let me say this: people have now heard this. Whether people will pay attention to this, we will know. The real good versus evil in January 6th is the fact that people are seeing the devil take off his mask and, like Scooby-Doo, and saying, "Poof, it was me, and that silly dog didn't get in the way," and no one is paying attention. There are people in power, and this is beyond, tinfoil hat stuff. There are people in power who don't have love for the regular people out there. They don't care about you. They care about more power. This is just a bigger case of more power. We'll get back to that in another story coming forward. But we pulled this story in there because, one, it literally took over. It's the number one story by leaps and bounds, and took over, even being posted late in the evening for people, the overnight people on the Twitter and the Facebook. And two, this is bumping the story that we actually hyped yesterday in the teaser on John Stockton, saying he knows people who are dying from the COVID vaccine. So we're not talking about that one, even though it was well within range, because this one made so much a big difference, and we wanted to make the stories diverse. So you need to go look this up if you didn't know anything about this. This is a big deal. This is beyond conspiracy theory. This is beyond, the poor, helpless people who were just taking a stroll through the Capitol on that day after, showing their rights to speak out against the folks. No, this is conspiracy level stuff. This is the stuff that the Nicolas Cage movies really do talk about, except this is not a Nicolas Cage movie, because if it was, he'd make it interesting. Otherwise, this is just plain out weird. And I'm throwing in the word out there again, a whole bit of evil, because it is. Our next story, back to big evil. North Korea has likely tested a new type of intercontinental ballistic missile, Japan says. CNBC.com gave us this one. It's actually about a couple days old from this one, because they have confirmed that, yes, North Korea fired off a intercontinental ballistic missile, one of those things, ICBMs, that's why they call them that. And two, actually, South Korea actually fired off some missiles in sort of show of force when they did this to just rattle some sabers going back and forth. This actually happened. North Korea, basically not to be outdone by all the other crazy going on, reminding folks that, oh, we're still here, we're still crazy, and we got nukes too. So firing off missiles in the middle of the night to show that they still want to get their flowers while they're still here, without actually, invading another country and taking over their sovereignty, because that would be cruel and crass, I guess. Story number 3 for this morning, not on the, well, I guess it does sort of stay along with the theme. U.S. to welcome 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. Politico.com with this one, and this is a good story. Now, we have seen the plight of the people in Ukraine, and we've seen people who are rushing out of there. We've seen the European nations step up. We're seeing former Soviet nations, former Warsaw Pact nations step up, because now they're NATO's. We don't say so much good guys, but now they are taking care of folks. Granted, there is a thing where these refugees are a lot like them, i.e. white-skinned people, but we're not gonna belabor that one right now. But they are doing their best, taking in folks. Even Poland, the fact is they're over capacity and still doing what they can to get people out of Ukraine, children and women who are just trying to find some place to go. The U.S. has now finally said who we're taking. Before we had this report come out yesterday by President Biden, we basically had taken in like 20 people, literally like 20 folks from the entire war. 2 million people have fled the country, and 20 people showed up on the shores of the United States. We're now taking officially 100,000 refugees, which is a good number. We could probably take in more, but let's go with the good on this one, as we have all the bad we've already talked about so far. 100,000 people is a good number to get started for Ukrainian refugees. If it's one of those things where we got to stand together, and like I said, not to go the blacky black thing, but yes, these are Europeans coming out of a nation, so their complexion and their, I'll say, religion may make a difference in the way the other Europeans are treating them. But we are seeing the crisis, and at least they're getting taken care of. That's where we're going to leave that one right there. Story number 4. I told you we'd get back to Big Evil. Donald Trump sues Hillary Clinton, others over Russia collusion allegations. Reuters.com. Yes, North Korea wanted to get some action to make sure that we still were talking about them. And yes, Donald Trump wants to get some action to make sure we're still talking about him. He's going all over the news medias that will have him to talk about the Ukraines. He had the story a few days ago that didn't make it into the show, but did make it into the range for the day, about him doing his interview with Stuart Varney on Fox Business and talking about Putin using the N-word a lot, and Varney making weird faces like what's that got to do with anything? And then he said, yeah, nuclear. And Varney went, okay, and kind of rolled with it. Donald Trump now suing Clinton and some other people who basically called Trump a collusion person, a colluder, if that's a word, with Russian, overall allegations on all the stuff he allegedly did in Russian collusion. Now, this comes up big because Trump, of course, is really still the only person out there supporting Putin and what he's doing, calling him a genius, saying this is what I would do. Like, yeah, just call a couple of states nearby independent and just kind of say, oh, yeah, we're going to take care of you. That works great. Now he's got a chance to sort of bite back and stay in the scene, literally in the focus of the frame, by suing people who said some things. Now, the problem with this is, yeah, it could be libel and slander if he didn't do that. But the problem with that is everyone pretty much is sure that he did do it. So, yeah. All right, taking a quick break from the news. Well, not quite. Let me do this, because apparently today was a day to not put your slides in order. Let's do this one first. No, let's do this one first, because I got to make the money. We're going to talk about Grammarly right now. Grammarly at thisisaconversationproject.com/Grammarly. To make your words look pretty, make your voice sound better in your speeches, you need to use the Grammarly app and Grammarly website. I have Grammarly set in as a source for basically all my programs. So it checks my spelling in my browser, checks my spelling on my Word documents, checks spellings on my other things I'm working on. And I also, every time I write something in a large form, I will copy paste it inside the Grammarly website and go through the full text, the full spell checking version of Grammarly. Grammarly is going to do wonders for you. I stumbled into Grammarly like a decade ago, something like that, and gladly paid the price for it and have not been disappointed ever since. Grammarly will help your words look better, your voice sound cooler, and maybe grow hair on your head. Well, maybe it won't grow hair in your head, but Grammarly will help you with all your grammar functions. And you can, like I said, it integrates with basically anything you're using. There's an app for your phone. It integrates with your web browser. So as you type things in the browser, your Facebook posts will be better because they'll be spell checked by Grammarly and not just, the Google who really wants to make your cranberries into really, really dirty words. It does that sometimes. Check it out. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/Grammarly. thisisaconversationproject.com/GRAMMARLY. This is an affiliate link on the page. So when you click that link, we do get a little bit of affiliate juice from that, but you will be juiced up by the love of the app. You didn't think an app could love you? Oh, Grammarly wants to take good care of you. Check it out. This is Grammarly, and this will take care of your writing, whether you're just a basic writer or you're writing big time grants or you actually are a novelist. This is a great way to get your spells checked using Grammarly. Now, bear with me as I press the buttons because, as I said, my slides are all in order. Final story that has been vetted by you. Mackenzie Scott donates a record $275 million to Planned Parenthood. Reuters.com with this one here. Now, we have gone back and forth, we, the collective we, and some jokes from me about Jeff Bezos being Dr. Evil. His ex-wife, I think they're actually divorced at this point, Mackenzie Scott, taking her half of the money and giving it away to many, many, many people. It's about over 1,000 different charities have gotten some of her billions of dollars, as if she's trying to wash herself clean of whatever went down in the Bezos house way back when. So here's the weird part. She's just donated $275 million to Planned Parenthood. Now, do we hate her now? Well, you can or you can. That is your various choice. But people have the right to give the money that they have earned to whomever they need to in this. And she is one of the people in the big planning to the billionaires are like, we're going to give all our money away before we die. And apparently she, being a lady, is the only one actually giving any money away, and only giving it away because she divorced the guy who made the money, I guess. So you can hate Mackenzie Scott. There was a lot of love early on in the week as she kept giving money and they kept saying who she gave it to. But then the headline, this one right here, which makes it a bit controversial. Whether you are down or not down with Planned Parenthood, that makes an issue. I'm not going to debate this one here, but I'm just going to put out there to do the conversation stuff that she is giving money to plenty of people, plenty of folks who are deserving of it. This is one that raised some eyebrows because it does sort of show a bit of a political bent. Planned Parenthood, of course, in some cases, then this is the case. In some cases, their clinics are the only clinics around to help take care of women, specifically for women issues, for female stuff. So there's that. They also are extremely pro-abortion, and that is an issue as well. So it's the only place you have to get taken care of for your health as a woman is also a place that encourages people. Also, I'll say encourages people, but does not discourage things like abortions, which many people think are wrong, if not sinful. That becomes the big issue. What you think of Mackenzie Scott, overcoming all the badness and, the husband with the divorce and him looking all jacked up. And now she's doing this thing that you may want to not be so nice and kind to Mackenzie Scott. Let's hold that judgment on that one. Pick this one fight on its merits, particularly. Don't judge Mackenzie Scott particularly on that, because I'm pretty sure because she was married to a billionaire, she's got some other big old skeletons in her closet to deal with that are much, much, much larger, much more insidious than that one right here. Now, let's take a look at our teaser story for today. This is one that we will see whether it makes its way all the way through the weekend. Remember, this is Friday, and on Monday morning, we're going to take on stories from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a little bit of Monday. So chances are, with 3 times the amount of stories to sift through, we will go through a third of those stories, 30%, 30 of the top 90 or so stories. But this one has a long row to hoe. I always mess that one up. Let me tell you the big picture on this one. This story: Jeff Probst pulls plug midway through deadly Survivor 42 challenge, saving contestants' lives. This, of course, happened on Survivor, a day or so ago, where there was a very, very, very dangerous stunt. 3 teams competing against each other. 1 team made it. 2 other teams were struggling, and Jeff pulled the plug on it to stop the challenge because it was a safety issue. Want to go deeper into this one? Go read the story. It's going to post in a few hours. So we're really jacked up on the things coming in there this morning. I don't know what it is, but we're a bit ahead today. So this one will post in a few hours, or search for it yourself to get some details on it to know what's going on. And we'll see if it actually survives the weekend and becomes something in the top for the beginning of the week. So let's sort of explain that. As I said, slides out of order, so it takes a while to get them back into order. We'll explain how that works out right now. And so things you might not have heard comes from something I called the Conversation Project because it needed a name. This is conversationproject.com. It's its home. Find out more details about the Conversation Project and what goes on and why we do this. Plus our feeds at facebook.com/this is the Conversation Project and twitter.com/th_conversation. Once you show up at those places, follow us so you can see what comes down. And they're called a feed because every 50 minutes we feed it with a new story, and you can get a chance to like it, love it, hate it, share it, engage with it as you want to. The higher engagement it gets, the higher score it gets at the end of the morning. 5 a.m. every single weekday morning, we cut them off. On, like I say, on Monday, we'll give you stories from today all the way through Monday morning. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it goes from the prior day. So the weekend gathers about 90-ish or so stories. The weekdays, about 30 or so stories. For the weekdays, the top 15 stories, we pick 5. On the weekends, so for the top 30 stories, we pick 7. One day this week, we had an extra 6 in there because it just was important yesterday because we had to get the Brittany Griner in. Today, we didn't do that because, to be honest, the John Stockton story wasn't that important, just sort of weird. And as I say, watching my childhood die, as Razor Ramon passed, and watching my childhood die as one of my favorite basketball players turns out to be a nut job. That is what it is. 'Tis also birthdays for a few folks. Remember, slides are out of order. Go the long way. Yes, that's how it works today. Celebrity birthdays for the day include Elton John, Sir Elton John, turning 75 on this day. Sarah Jessica Parker, 57, who, yes, I have once said looks like a horse because there is a website that is called Sarah Jessica Parker Looks Like a Horse. It's still out there. Check it out. And Catherine McPhee, one of my wife's favorite singers, of course, star of the hit show Smash, which was not a hit show because it was canceled after like a season. She turns 38 on today. It's also going big, National Medal of Honor Day. So we're going to honor those folks who've earned the highest honor that the United States has given. If you're overseas, if you're international, National Medal of Honor is the highest honor that the United States can bestow on people for doing just something particularly awesome for the most part. So that's what we're going to honor on today's day of the year. And we also are going to give you one more thing you might not have heard if I can press the right button. And there it is. Guess what? 75% of all cars produced by Rolls-Royce are still on the road. That's 75% of all the cars produced. And Rolls-Royce been around for a while. Now, Rolls-Royce not really making lots of cars these days. They're more or less into plane engines and aircraft or spaceship engines, things like that. That's where their bread and butter is made these days. But all the cars, all the beautiful, beautiful, very expensive Rolls-Royces out there, most of the ones people are looking for are the classics. And guess what? Most of them are still out there driving and road ready. This has been Things You Might Have Heard for Friday, March 25th, 2022. Thank you for those who watch this live in the future. Good morning to my good friend O and Miss Georgia. Thank you so much for dropping in and saying hello and speaking to us. If you are watching this in the future, because I'm almost done now, make sure you pop in a comment into wherever you're watching this, on the Facebook, on the YouTube. And remember, come Monday, we join in with the larger Voltron family of J. Cleveland Payne stuff. We'll be producing, like I said, the larger version, extra 2 stories, onto the other J. Cleveland Payne pages and YouTube channels. So we'll invite in some extra friends. So be nice. Be prepared for a little company on Monday. And then if you want to get this, well, you're already getting this. As you see this going forward, someone sent this to you. Follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. Search for This Is the Conversation on YouTube. We'll put a link to the YouTube channels and then the Facebook channels in this thing going forward, so it's a little easier. And you will be able to find us doing this thing Monday through Friday, about 5:45, 5:50 every single morning as we get prepared for work. So now we're going to prepare for the actual work stuff that pays the main bills. You can help us pay the bills by going to our website, thisistheconversationproject.com, and click on the partnerships or sponsors page, and make sure you're following our feed so you're actually involved and engaged. It's really more important that you're involved and engaged. I can figure out how to get the money. Well, I'm working on that. But if you're engaged in this thing, we will have the real conversations. Thank you so much for being a part of this, getting some outside news, and letting us be your tertiary news source, because we know you love the MSNBC, but we're glad you stopped by and hang out with us. Until on Monday morning, Lord willing, creek don't rise. Remember, stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task, because we need you to do the great things that you're here to do. I'm out. See you Monday morning.